Hello, my name is Heather. I'm a mom to 8 children, a husband that's a farmer, 2 daughter-in-laws, and a son-in-law, and I'm gonna be making a banana split cake. When I was little, my mother used to make this cake, and it was a vanilla cake, and she'd add strawberries, pudding, and then Cool Whip. And I thought, you know what? How about I take that and turn it into a banana split cake? So I'm gonna add bananas, chocolate syrup. I'm gonna mix my Cool Whip with cream cheese. I'm gonna make a from scratch cake. I'm gonna do the vanilla pudding on it. I've been wanting to make this forever, but life has been so busy. Look, I bought myself a fan just for me, just for the kitchen, because it's so hot, I can't take it. But life has been so crazy with the wedding, and now the holidays are coming up, and I've been wanting, like I said, to make this cake for my family, and finally I'm just gonna do it. I've been in a decluttering mode. So I've been going through every single room, decluttering things. I just cleaned my front porch, and I'm gonna be doing a chicken pot pie because I asked my kids, what would you like for dinner? David said tater tot casserole, which you already made. My son Robert and Hailey said chicken pot pie. So everybody's working. Josh is outside just kind of fiddling around. Hailey's delivering eggs. All my guys are working. Sounds like we're kind of getting a thunderstorm coming here. And I thought, how perfect would this be? Like I said, it's the holiday weekend. I'm gonna be making this cake. I'm gonna be making my patriotic fruit pizza. And then my girls just made our patriotic snack mix, which you can see right here. And they did a great job on it. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you go back and see that video. It's super funny. They did good. They're so nervous though, but they're excited. I said, everybody wants you guys to cook together. So we're gonna find a recipe so they can cook together. The Madison and Hailey show. Make sure you check it out. And then I'm gonna be doing, what was the third thing? I was gonna make one more. Oh, I'm making a quadruple pie. I'm so excited. I got all my fresh peaches, fresh blueberries, fresh cherries, and fresh apples. Like, I'm gonna be making it from scratch. I'm so excited. So that's gonna be more toward the end of this week. So let's get going on this cake. I cannot wait to make it. I've been putting it off, and I'm just gonna do it. And I have to get dinner going, so I gotta kind of hustle with this one. So, banana split cake. Yum. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna combine the sugar and the eggs together, and you're gonna mix that on like a medium speed until it triples its size. It starts to get a little foamy and thicker. So let's get that done. Uh-oh. I had to change out my hand mixer because my other one died on me. So let's get going here. So like I said, you're gonna mix this until the eggs are all mixed in, and it triples in size. So it's gonna get a little airy, foamy. See that? I just wanna show you what it looks like. So it's nice and foamy. It almost looks like kind of creamy. It took me about 2 minutes to do this. So next, you're gonna combine the milk and the butter, and you wanna put it in the microwave until the butter melts, and then we're gonna be adding the vanilla and the oil, whisking the dry ingredients, and we're gonna slowly add the wet and the dry, mixing in between each one. So you wanna keep alternating them until I believe you end with the dry ingredients. So next up, you're gonna combine 1 cup of whole milk, half a stick of butter. You're gonna nuke that until the butter melts. Then we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of vanilla and 1 tablespoon of oil. For my dry ingredients, it's 2 cups of flour. You're gonna add 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You're gonna whisk that together in a bowl, and then we're gonna start alternating each of the ingredients until it's completely combined. Then we're gonna put it into our greased cake pan. I'm hoping that it fits this one. I use everything big, so I might have to double the batch once I get everything together. I'll see what it's like, but also I'm adding pudding and fruit and a cream cheese frosting on it, so I might not need as much cake as if it was just a cake with icing. So I have to kind of see how it works out. But so get that going. Get your milk and your butter melted, then we'll add the vanilla and oil, and then we're gonna whisk together the dry ingredients. So the butter has almost started to melt. I'm just gonna mix it in here. I don't wanna curdle the milk, and so the butter is pretty much melted, so I'm just gonna stir it in here until it melts. And so when you use the oil, I use avocado oil. I used to use coconut oil, and then I read where avocado oil was pretty healthy for you, so I use that. I don't think it really matters. There's a lot of people that make olive oil cakes, and I've been watching a lot of baking shows, and I guess an olive oil cake is amazing. I might have to try that out. Okay, so it did melt. Now we're gonna add the oil and the vanilla. So I just do a little bit mixing here, and then we'll add it to it. Okay, so we're gonna add the tablespoon of vanilla and then the tablespoon of oil. Mix that together. You want it hot, so you wanna mix it in hot. All right, there we go. And then we're gonna set this aside. And here's our 2 cups of flour and then the baking powder and salt. So we'll add the 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You should get all that in there. And then the 2½ teaspoons of baking powder. And we'll whisk this together. I have seen some recipes where they use sour cream and some use baking soda, but I want to stick with the oil. Okay, let's whisk this together. There we go. Okay, set that aside. Let's bring our bowl back. So we're gonna start by adding a little bit of the flour. I'd say about a cup of it. Mix together. Making sure to scrape it. See how that looks? Now we're gonna add some of the butter. Let's mix it again. I'd say just mix it on low for now, medium low. I'm using the milk that we get from we have a girl that lives not too far from us, and she sells milk, so we get it from her. All right, let's add some more of the flour. There we go. Mix it again. It's not gonna be thick. It smells yummy. Makes it really good. Now let's add, I guess we'll end with the liquid. Let's add more of the liquid. Mix that. Ooh, I can hear the thunder. I think I might need more. I'm not sure here. Rest of the powder. That's looking kind of great. Want to use cake flour, you can. All right, that's good. And then we'll use the rest of the butter and milk. And then we'll pour it into the dish. And I'm baking it at like 375 to 400. I'm going to try 375 to start. Okay, that was good. All right, let's put that batter in here. I don't think I'm gonna need another one. I think this will be perfect because it is gonna rise, and I do have so many layers to it. So if you're doing a smaller, like a 9 by 13, it's gonna be perfect. I think this is a 10 by 15, I'm not really sure. I'm preheating the oven right now. And then when it comes out, we're gonna have to let it cool. So that's gonna be probably a while. So I think I'll get started on my chicken pot pie. I gotta make my crust. All right, there we go. I'm gonna put this in the oven and then start our chicken pot pie. So you're gonna get to see a dessert and a dinner today. I don't normally make desserts for dinner. Usually we'll just have like ice cream or whatever's available. I don't usually like make a dessert, but I feel kind of desserty lately, so I'm gonna make a dessert. So it is kind of thin, but I think it's gonna be okay, because like I said, it's gonna rise. I'm gonna do some Cool Whip on top, or some pudding, and then fruit, and then oh my goodness, and then the Cool Whip, and then drizzle. So I think it'll be fine. Okay, let's start the chicken pot pie. So I'm gonna make my own chicken broth. I have my chicken in my pan, and now I'm gonna add all my spices. So it's a tablespoon of thyme and basil, rosemary, parsley, oregano, a bay leaf, 2 bay leaves, white pepper, granulated garlic salt, garlic powder, minced onion. I do 2 of minced onion. There we go. And then garlic. 2 2 of garlic, and I'm gonna put this on the oven. I'm gonna boil it until the chicken's done, and then the broth, like the water turns like a nice yellow. So it probably take about maybe 30, 40 minutes. I have the time because I'm cooking my cake. I'll start getting the carrots and the celery ready to go. Start cutting up the fruit, the strawberries. I'll wait for the bananas, and then make the pudding. So I'll do a lot of prep stuff while I'm waiting for this. So I'm gonna say probably medium heat, put the lid on it for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna start by cutting the celery. I got it all washed. I had actually seen a video where a lady had kept all her scraps of like, whenever she, you know, got her kids apples and they didn't eat it all, or ends to things, and she saved it all up and she boiled it with water and made like a juice out of it, kind of pressed it, put it through a filter. I'm wondering if you could do the same thing for scraps for veggies, like make a vegetable juice that you can drink. So I don't know. I'm really trying to like, I've been looking into like composting and just how to save all your extras and use them. Cause I just like my eggs, you know, I actually got to start putting the powder now on my plants. Now that my tomato plants are getting a little bigger, I need to put all that on my tomato plants because that calcium really helps a lot. Like I said in the video, if you've seen it, you can put it in smoothies. And so I've been using it. It's pretty exciting. It's super cool. And I got myself a freeze dryer. Super excited about that. Can't wait to use it. Life's been too busy, or so busy because of the wedding. And so I'm super excited to try that. Izzy's like, Mom, when are we going to use that? I said, soon. So I got a question for you. Have you noticed, is it just me, but have you noticed, you know, leave it in the comments, that organic is cheaper than normal? Like I literally was in the grocery store just yesterday and they had organic bananas on sale for 70 cents a pound, and the regular bananas were 77 cents. And I know it's 7 cents, I get that, but I've been noticing like even my celery, this is organic celery, it's just the celery hearts. I noticed that it's cheaper than regular celery. And so I don't know, I mean, I'm thankful for sure, but it's just kind of weird. And it's the hearts, so I didn't have to worry about like all the stuff on top that you don't use. And a lot of it is so big that it's like watery and you lose half of it because it's overgrown. And so I don't know what's going on, because I was able to pick up the celery super cheap. I'm kind of cheating with the carrots. Normally I slice my carrots and I thought, why am I doing that? And I found organic shredded carrots. There are like 3 different kinds of carrots, and it was cheaper than carrots. It's so weird. I don't know what's going on. I also picked up some organic, I went looking for peaches because I'm making this super duper pie for 4th of July. And I picked up organic peaches, and they were cheaper per pound than the regular peaches. And the regular peaches, I don't know if it's just me, but they were so hard. Like you can't use them. They're just too hard. So I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely thankful for sure because, you know, I don't mind using organic. But it's just kind of crazy. I don't know what's going on. I just made a mess with the celery because I was talking to you guys. So I don't know. It's very weird. I'm finding that organic fruits and vegetables are way cheaper. Maybe it's because they don't have to pay for all the pesticides and stuff like somebody who wouldn't do that. I really don't know. I'm just assuming things, of course. I have found, so I've been doing a lot of reflecting on myself. I feel like I'm just so broken and I don't really know where I fit. And so I've been doing so much praying. I called a friend of mine. I was on the phone for like 2 hours with her, just talking about just life and our kids and our family. And she just gave me so much good godly advice. Like I absorbed everything of it. It was so nice to talk to her because I haven't got to really talk to her in forever just because of life and just circumstances. And so we just chatted, and I mean, she's a little older than me, and so she's in a different season of her life, but I don't know. I just, one of the things, I'll just tell you a couple of things that have stuck out with me this week is assumptions. Assumptions are so not good, because assumptions make you be mad at people before you've even met them. Assumptions ruin relationships. It keeps you from doing things. It makes you think that people don't like you that do. And so I have realized lately that you can't make assumptions on people or situations because you really don't know what they're going through. And we can literally like, you know, I know for me, like I can literally just be thinking, and before I get somewhere, I'm already mad at a person. They ain't even done anything, and I'm mad at them. So I have learned that you can't just assume things because you don't know. You don't know what people are dealing with. You don't know what they've been through. You don't even know. And so stop assuming situations and assuming things, because that's when we start fighting with people, not liking people, not giving them a chance. And so that's what I've actually, the Lord's really showed me these last several weeks, is be very careful assuming things because you just don't know. So there's my words of wisdom for you guys today. Now let's cut some onions. So I just checked on the cake, and the cake has doubled in size. So you're not gonna wanna double the recipe. Even if you're making a bigger helping, you're not gonna wanna do that. It looks beautiful. And so I do have it at 375. And yeah, it's proofed up quite a bit. So I'm very encouraged by that because I was a little worried that it might be too thin, but no, it's gonna be fine. Okay, so I have 3 onions. If you wanna add more onions, you can. We're gonna be sauteing these in butter. I like to soften my veggies before I add them to the chicken, like add the chicken, because I'm cooking the chicken right now. And so I like to soften them because my husband's biggest pet peeve is carrots that are not completely cooked. And for some reason, of course, the biggest pet peeve my husband has is the thing I struggle with. I struggle with cooking carrots all the way through. I think they're done and they're not done. So you think it'd be something, his pet peeve would be something that I've accomplished, but no, it's not. Okay, so next up is carrots. Okay, I already have 1 bag in. So this is the Bolt House Fresh Organic. It's like 4 different kinds of carrots. So it's gonna make my chicken pot pie look nice and colorful. So I'm just gonna mix it together a little bit. I'm gonna throw it in a pan with butter and some spices and get cooking this. When the chicken's done, I'll start making the roux, and I gotta check my cake because it smells like it's pretty close to being done. So, yeah. All right, 2 sticks of butter. I'll put my veggies in here. It's getting all over the place. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna use it all. And I'm gonna do garlic salt, white pepper, minced onion again, 2 tablespoons. It's just more of a concentrated onion flavor. And then a heaping tablespoon of garlic. So here's how the veggies are going. I'm gonna cook it a little longer because the carrots still don't seem like they're soft. And then over here, I turned down the heat. Here's my chicken broth. See how it's getting it to be a nice yellow? I'm gonna cook it a little bit longer and then start putting everything together. The chicken's done. I removed it from the stock off. My veggies are still going. And so now I'm just shredding my chicken with a hand mixer. There are some recipes, boy, it's crazy. There are some recipes where I like to cube it. But today I'm not feeling like cubing it because I'm a little tired. So I'm gonna do the super easy way. Work harder, work smarter, not harder. Today is what it is. I'm so excited to get my side porch all done. I can't wait to have coffee with my husband in the morning. He's gonna love it. I kind of shifted like the smoker and stuff that we smoke meats, but not a lot. And I'd rather use that space, like that's a usable space for a while. Wow, fly away chicken. Okay, so I'm just gonna get this shredded, start making the roux, start making the crust, because I'm pretty much almost ready to go. I have the chicken broth ready to make the roux. I have my butter out. The veggies are almost done. And so now all I have to do is get the crust ready, put it in my pan, bake it, put a wash on top of it, and then that's done. And then hopefully my cake will be cooled by then. So yeah, so the crust is super easy. I'm gonna double the recipe. So it's 2 cups of flour, followed by 1.5 sticks of butter, a teaspoon of salt, then a 1/3 cup of ice water. But like I said, I'm gonna double it because I'm thinking I'm gonna have to put it in my big cast iron pan. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. So we'll see. If I have extra crust, I'll just freeze it. Or maybe I'll make some mini something. I'm not really sure I'm going to do. So I'm going to get everything in the bowl, get this going. All I have to do is make my roux, but I thought, let me do the crust first. I'll cover it, just kind of let it rest for a second. Or maybe I'll put it into the pan. It's not going to take long to make the roux. It's going to be really, really fast. So yeah, so let's get going on this recipe. So 2 cups of flour, but like I said, I'm doubling it. And then a teaspoon of salt. And then whisk this together. And then I'm actually gonna shred my butter so it gets really mixed in there. I can't find my pastry cutter for some reason. I don't know what's going on. So I have actually seen this, other people do this, where they shred the butter and it makes it easier to mix into the dough. So I have 3 sticks I gotta do. And you make sure you want it cold. All right, I'm gonna keep doing, I got 2 more to do and then I'll come back. All right, now I'm gonna mix it. We want it nice and crumbly. Mix it in with the flour. And then we'll add the water and mix it again. Just wanna make sure all that butter gets into the dough and it's nice and crumbly. Now we're gonna add 1/3 cup of ice water. Preferably no ice. Oh, I got an ice cube. I'm gonna take that out of there. And just drizzle it throughout the crust. There we go. And just mix it with your fingers. You just want it to be nice and soft to form a ball. If you think you gotta add more, go ahead. Ooh, this feels nice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do a smaller one. I might have to quadruple my recipe. Just mix all the flour in here. We'll see how this goes. I might have to make another batch. It's hard when you have to do bigger batches for your family. And every recipe you find, you have to quadruple it. And when I'm looking for something new to make, I like put in like chicken recipes. And I will just be looking. I'm gonna actually add a little bit more to this. So I'll just be looking for recipes. And let's say I find one that I really like. I will then kind of write down the recipe. But then I'll like rearrange it. Like I'll add more of something, or I'll add my ingredients, or maybe I'll see something and think, man, this would be good if I added this vegetable. So I find a concept, and this isn't always, like I have my own stuff that I've created too, but I do look on Pinterest for inspiration, and then I will just, take that recipe and just like redo it. But there are some that I have tried, just like that recipe. They're absolutely amazing, but I will just, kind of dissect it because I have ingredients that I like to use myself for my, like I have a staple of ingredients. Whoa, fly away crust. I have a staple that I like, and so yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna push this all together, grab my pan out. Ooh, it feels great. Nice. Just kind of work it together so it's not falling apart on us. I'm exhausted, absolutely exhausted. Okay, can you guys see that? Let's push it back a little bit. So I got on a floured surface. I'm gonna be rolling it out pretty big. So I wanna make sure that I have an area so when I start rolling it out, it won't stick. And you don't want it too thin because you want it to hold up like when you cut your pieces of chicken pot pie. I was gonna do individual ones, but I ran out of time. All right, here we go. My husband made this rolling pin for me out of our trees in the back of our yard. You can see the butter through it. Oh my goodness, please, amazing. So if you just go from the inside out, it makes it a lot easier. And I wanna make sure it's big enough to fit into my pan or my casserole dish, whatever you're using. If you're gonna use a casserole dish, you wanna go more triangle with it. I need it a little thinner than this. Woo-wee! I'm definitely getting my workout. Today's supposed to be my first day in the gym. And with moving everything in my front porch and then now doing this, I'm already tired. Oh, there we go. It's getting really elastic now. You're gonna wanna preheat your oven, probably 375, I'm thinking. But I just wanna get this crust into the pan and then make that roux. And then mix it all together. It's very elastic, very nice. I've made some crust where you go to pick it up and it breaks into pieces. But this is very nice. I can see all the chunks of butter in there. So nice. See, it's literally only like high 80s or like lower 80s and I'm dying. Us Yoopers, we just don't like the weather hot. A good 70 degree day is perfect. Just perfect. All right, this side was a little thick, so I want to thin that out. I really don't want to make another crust. We'll see which pan it goes into. But I am making cake too, so hopefully I don't want this to get too soft on me. Okay, but I think that's good. Let me go grab my pan and get it in. Get this dinner going so we can finish. We still have to finish the cake. Well, I still have to finish the cake. Okay. So I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do. I first had my 2 pie pans. I didn't really like that at all. And when I went to roll it, it was like to cut it, it was still really thick. So I'm gonna do this one. And I'm gonna do like a lattice on top. Normally I'll do a whole top. I might have enough to do it, but I'm gonna do, you want to just make sure you okay. So now we got to do the filling. This is kind of deep. It's a little deeper than a normal pan. So I'm just going to pinch the sides that have a little bit on. Put that stuff inside, and then I think I'm going to roll this back out to put on top. I don't know why I'm looking over there. There's nothing over there. I'm gonna put this on top here and then re-roll the circle. I was thinking I could do a big one, but then I'm thinking, I forgot to do crust for the top. So normally I would add spices to this, but because I have so many spices already, I'm going to just use the broth for my spices. So you're just gonna mix this until it forms a paste. And then we're going to slowly add the chicken broth and then my milk. So you want, it's 1 stick of butter to 1 cup of flour. You can see that. Yeah. There we go. And you're going to want this to bubble for a couple seconds, maybe even a minute, just so it can get that butter flour mixture working. You want to keep doing that. I'd say about 4 or 5 cups. You want to stir it so it thickens. And I need enough to go into that pie thing, so. And then I'll reserve the rest of this chicken broth because I don't want to throw it away. And I'll reserve it and keep it for maybe I'll do something else here soon. Just stick it in the fridge in a canning jar. So I would say probably maybe 5 to 6 cups of chicken broth, and just keep stirring it because you want it to be kind of thick. You don't want it too watery. Now we're going to add milk. Sometimes I'll add heavy cream. So I'm going to add the milk, but keep it. You don't want to add too much at once because then you'll lose it and it won't be nice and thick. My husband gets a quart of this, or a gallon, a quart. This is a half gallon, I believe. Every week, every Friday, Hailey goes and picks it up. And her and David also get some. So I have some, I want to use it in this, and then I have to make bread still, and then I got to make my pudding, so I'm going to be using it up big time. We have 2. We're a little behind because my husband normally drinks lots of milk, but he's been so busy that he hasn't gotten to do that. So yeah, so we're a little behind. So I said, okay, I'll make some recipes to get using that. So I'm just going to continue doing this. You want it kind of high heat while you're mixing because that's what helps it thicken. So I'll get this thick. We'll add the veggies to it and pour it into the pie shell. Preheat my oven to 375. Roll out the top. Put it in the oven, and I'll probably, after it's done, it's cooked halfway, I'll add like a little bit of melted butter. I'll brush butter or something on there. All right, looks good. Looks good. I got the heat shut off. Now I'm just gonna slowly add in the veggies. I think I did the numbers right, but we'll see. Okay. And I did add a little bit of half and half because I still want that thickness. I just don't feel like whole milk gives you that nice thickness that I like. All right, let's just mix it in here. And then adding the veggies and the chicken will also help it to kind of thicken, but I just don't want to overdo it. And if I have extras, you know, I'll just do something with it. No, I'll make more crust or something. But I don't want it to be super soupy. Super soupy. All right. So I'm doing just a cup of veggies and then putting in a cup of chicken. Just so it's even. I think I figured this out right. I think I figured it out. All right. I'm going to continue doing this until it gets nice and covered. I just don't want to add all of it at once because what if I didn't make enough broth and it's all like dry? I don't want dry for sure, but I don't want soup either. All right. I don't know how much is going to fit in here, but I don't want to overdo it. Let's try that first. See how this works. Looks like I'm going to have extra filling. I might be making some more stuff. All right, so I got to do a top to it. I do have filling left over, so I might have a little bit of dough that maybe I can make a couple like chicken pot pie pasties. I don't know. All right, so I want it to cover the top. I want it kind of thin. I got my oven going. This is really nice crust. All right, just a little thinner. So I would recommend, instead of rolling it all at once, kind of made a mistake, put it into 2 if you're gonna double it. But you might need to double it because that's not very big. It's so hard learning to cook for a smaller amount. I'm struggling. So I would double it unless you're gonna make just like a regular, like a pie size, then I think I would double it. Okay, so let's add that too. Let's put it on top. All right, there we go. All right, perfect. We're just gonna pinch these ends and then put a little edge on top, and then we're ready to go. Couple slits, so let a little air out. Cake is cooled. I'm just gonna press some holes in the cake, just so some of the pudding will get down into it. This is what they do with Jell-O cakes too. I took a little piece off the edge to try it. Lots of holes here. So the pudding will go into the cake. Right, and this is just vanilla pudding. I'm just gonna put it on here, spread it around, make sure it goes into the holes, and then we'll add the fruit. I did 2 big boxes, and it looks like that's perfect. All right, now I'm gonna slice these strawberries and put them on the cake. And then I'm gonna keep doing this, and then I'm gonna grab the bananas and sprinkle the bananas on the cake. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but fruit just doesn't last anymore. I don't know what the deal is. It just doesn't last. I literally bought these strawberries not too long ago, and they don't look near like they did before. I just do not understand at all. All right. Then my husband gets frustrated. He's like, what's with all the strawberries? How come they're not making it? I'm like, honey, I just literally bought those. I don't know what's going on. All right, I'll finish doing this, and then we'll come back and do banana. You gotta have banana for banana split. All right, now we're gonna chop up bananas. I love bananas. I love bananas in ice cream. I love bananas in banana pudding. I'm a banana girl. When we went to Hawaii, holy cow, the pineapple and bananas, the fruit in general was amazing. Might have to put more bananas on it. So we're just gonna mix these in. Oh man, these are my sale organic bananas. I say the more bananas the better, but that's just me. I love bananas. Okay. Alrighty. I think that's perfect. So I did 4 bananas, so I think that is perfect. All right, I have 2 things of cream cheese in here. I'm gonna fluff this up and then cool it. My chicken pot pie smells yummy. I added 1 large container of Cool Whip that I had actually thawed out in the refrigerator. So now I'm mixing it in with the cream cheese. So it's 2 things of cream cheese, 2 things of cream cheese, 1 big container of Cool Whip. Before I put the Cool Whip on, I'm gonna drizzle chocolate on top of the bananas and strawberries. And I'm also gonna drizzle it on top of the Cool Whip. Now it's time to ice this cake. Yummy. Just push it out to the ends because I want that chocolate to stay in there. All right.
Hey, Dave or Noah? Either of you guys want to golf tonight? Well, I don't go golfing right now. Are you sure?
That's our family.
You're at the age where you actually started. What's Dave doing? Hey, golf. It's way too sunny out here.
Call Robert. All right.
I didn't know. He's not. I haven't seen him.
Chaos back there. There it is. Done. Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks for joining me on making this banana split cake. And don't go nowhere. My wonderful chicken pot pie. So thanks so much. Make sure to subscribe and like to our family page. And happy cooking and baking.